From the Burn release, it is Deep Purple with Sail Away, and starting things off here on the Classic Metal Show, we heard some Great White with My World, and this is My World along with Chris's World, if he'd pay attention and get on the mic. So anyway, this is Neeley rocking with your Classic Metal Show, and well, I don't know, Chris must be off getting a drink or something. I have no idea what this guy's doing. Let's see if we can ring him up. See if we can get Chris to be a part of the show tonight. I guess not. Hey, Chris, wake up over there. All right. Well, anyway, I'll start off here the show without Chris, and we'll see what he's up to in a little bit here. And, all right, there we go. All right, well, anyway, we are back after a week away here on the Classic Metal Show, and, we're ready to rock. And tonight, I think I'm just kind of feeling loose, ready to just do some fun shit. And I know you guys and gals are doing the same thing. And, we got some guests here on the show tonight. This week I've got was contacted by Eric Braverman, who says he's got some stuff he wants to discuss. So apparently he has some information for you, the fans, and bring you up to date with what's going on with him. I guess he's got some new television network projects going on, and also he's branching out a little at a time, so he wants to let everybody know what's going on. Plus he's got some inside information on some of the tours that are happening out there, such as the Slayer tour. We heard some Deep Purple there, and Deep Purple, of course, is out there with Judas Priest, and they're doing their thing. So Eric wants to come on and be a part of the show tonight, which of course he's always welcome to do that. And so we're looking forward to having him come on. I see Chris wanted me to play one more song, but I'll just fill until he gets his act together. But anyway, I was out last week. I was out with Great White and Doc, and they played over at a place called the Honeywell Center in a little Indiana town called Wabash. It was kind of a weird setup over there. I mean, it was a very nice venue, but it was in this old I don't know what you want to call an industrial city, and a lot of blue collar folks came out to the show, and it was interesting. It's kind of like out in the middle of farm country, and they put on a good show, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But then Don was like, you guys are live next week, right? I said, yeah, we're live. He goes, I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about. I said, well, you got the doors always open. So somewhere along the way, supposedly, Don will join the show tonight. And as you know, Don is always a great guest. He never holds back. And a guy that never holds back, Chris Aiken, joining us on the mic.
Hey, did we start yet?
Did we what?
Did we start yet?
Yeah, we started. You got to stop with the texting and being...
No, I wasn't. This cocksucking fucking Skype all of a sudden says, oh, you have to reinstall it. It's like, you motherfucker.
Yeah, it did the same thing for me today, too.
But it was on. But it was logged in for... I've got a different number for the Dog Pound podcast.
Yeah.
So it was logged in for there. So all I did was logged out and logged back in, and then it says, oh, you have to install this shit.
Well, it did a reinstall for me today, too, just before the show as well. So I'm not sure what's going on with that.
These cocksuckers better get it together. I pay for this shit.
All right, well, we're back after a week away.
We are. I liked how you were filling.
I was.
So we've got a lot to do, and we've got to have some fun. Chris, please call.
I didn't know what the hell you were doing. I always have my phone on silent, so I didn't realize you sent me a text message.
No, it's all good. I didn't know how else to get a hold of you. I was like, I went to connect, and then I was like, okay, well, this will take 1 second, right? To just push the button and flip over to the other account. Who fucking knew it would make me reinstall the whole goddamn thing?
You and all your gadgets and all your apps.
Well, dude, it shouldn't be that hard to fucking log out, log in?
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Oh, well, whatever. I'm here now.
You're going to have to do a little equipment test prior to the show.
Well, I had Skype up. I had it running. What more testing would I do? Dial it?
Yep, you're going to have to do that too.
Jesus Christ. Unbelievable.
Right.
And I was not jerking off to an Alyssa Milano pic. I did that earlier in the week. It was video, thank you, from the Embrace of the Vampire movie.
Right. That's funny that somebody even brought that up in the chat room, because I was rolling back through some podcasts today.
Yeah.
And I ran across that one. I think it was called Alyssa Milano and Chris's Spank Bank. I think that's the name of the segment.
Nice.
So there you are. I see a lot of people always throwing a lot of references out there.
Oh, yeah, they definitely do.
Yeah, and, when I go back, as far as time is concerned,
sure,
I just don't realize how much time passes.
Oh, dude. I've been back on the show 6 years. 6 years, I think 6 years this week, actually.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be? Because I came back September 12th.
Yeah.
So 6 years this week. Isn't that fucking amazing?
It is. 6 years has flown by. And I was looking at some of the age of some of the bumpers and things that Wheezy had put together for us.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff dates back to like 2007, 2008.
Wow.
So I'm thinking, you did that 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10, 12 years.
It's like, where the fuck is the time gone?
Jesus, I was only halfway through my sentence at that point. I mean, nothing.
Yeah, so I was thinking about, man, time has just flown by.
Yeah.
And I have a couple of bank accounts.
Okay.
And I have one for the CMS Enterprises, right? Mm-hmm. And since we're starting to do a little business with doing a little marketing and whatnot.
You mean selling out?
Well, we're not selling it out during the show, but regardless of that, we're doing a little business.
Yeah, sure.
And so I went to go check on this account that I have.
Okay.
And I have not touched that account in 3 years.
Wow, we've been raking in the money then.
No, what I mean is that I've had no activity
right
with that account in 3 years. I haven't been to that bank in 3 years is what I'm trying to say.
They're like, can we help you, stranger?
Yeah. So it was just like, wait a minute. I opened that account and I'm trying to think back, and it's just like, when was the last time I came here? And then I had to sit there and think, and it's like, man, it was like 3 years ago.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you think it was like 3 months ago or something.
Well, I was thinking, okay, yeah, it was like last year or something. And then I realized, no, that was 3 summers ago.
I know. Dude, the time just flies by, man.
Yeah, this whole year is slowly winding to a close already.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that slowly. It seems like this year has flown by.
Yeah. And, there's what, two more weeks here in October. Or September, and then into October, and then, November and December, and we're done for the year.
We got 2.5 months, and then we start best of shit where we can take a break.
A little bit of a break.
Yes.
I only have, I know people don't like it if you and I take the week off.
Yeah.
But, the thing is you work a lot of hours in the week. I work a lot of hours in the week.
Sure.
And we do this because we enjoy doing it. But, sometimes, things happen when you'd like to be a part of something, but it just happens on a Saturday.
Exactly.
So as far as I know, from here to the end of the year, I've only got one more week that I'm going to be away, and I think I'm going to go to L.A. For Nader's CD release party at the Whiskey.
That's cool.
I think that's October. Well, the party is on the 12th of October, but Saturday is the 13th.
Right.
Spooky 13.
Nice.
So that's the only week that I know that I'm going to be away. I know that you've been lining up some stuff that you want to do. I guess you're going to go see Glenn Hughes tomorrow.
Yes, I'm seeing Glenn Hughes tomorrow. I have like a whole concert roster of shit that I'm doing here in the next like 2.5 months, but I don't think any of it falls on a Saturday.
Okay.
I'm going to go see Glenn Hughes tomorrow. I'm going to, what am I doing? I'm going to the Babies in 2 weeks, but that's on a Sunday, I believe. I'm going to, what's in October? I'm going to go get high with Chips Enough, high on the new thing, on October 22nd. I'm going to go see Dave Landau from the Anthony Cumia show on the 17th or 19th or something, whatever that Thursday is. And I'm going to see Hailstorm. That's on a Monday, I believe. And I'm going to see Jason Bonham, and I don't know what date that is.
Well, you're doing more things in the next couple of months than you have literally in years.
Dude, you know what? I just got to a point where I'm tired of fucking working. You know, and you know me, I love to work. But I'm like, you know, I want to go do some stuff. The girl wants to go do some stuff. So I'm going to go do some stuff.
Yeah, why not?
You know, and most of it's during the week, and it's not like I have a boss.
Yeah, and it's not that far.
No, it's really not. I mean, most of the stuff is fairly close, you know. The only thing that I think I'm going to that's at a venue that I fucking hate is tomorrow. You know, going to see Glenn Hughes at that shitbag House of Blues. You know, other than that, I like all the venues. All the rest of it's at like the Masonic Temple that I have not been to. But but at the Roxino and at the Kent Stage and
well, see, those are all within like 10 minutes of your house.
I know, love it. That makes it better.
Yeah, for me, I have to always travel. I mean, there's really never a time where I don't have to at least travel a minimum of an hour.
Right. Yeah, that's too far.
Yeah,
that's too much for me. But dude, the fact that it's all close and you know. Means I could drink or hit the peace pipe or whatever, and I'm good. It's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, well, with me, a majority of the time that, you know, I get involved with anything requires an overnight stay.
Yeah, see, I'm not doing that.
So, racking up the miles, racking up the hotel bills, racking up the, you know, the entertainment and, you know, that kind of stuff. So, I like getting out and I like getting away, but it does require me to travel.
There is not a band on the circuit that'll make me sleep in a fucking hotel. There's really not. You know, that I did at the whatchamacallit that we did with Andrew.
Right.
That was more because it was an event that we were involved in.
Sure.
If it was just for the bands, there's no chance I would have gone. No way. You know, that's just not my thing. That's your thing. You like to go and hang out and, you know, hang out at the bar till 4 o'clock in the morning with the bands, whatever. Me, I'd rather watch ER reruns.
Right.
You know, something else. I'd rather go back to bed.
Well, speaking of that, last week, as you know, I was out with Great White and Dokken.
Right.
And it was Mick's birthday last week.
Oh, boy.
And get this venue that they played at, the Honeywell Center, it was a dry venue.
Oh, not once Mick got there. It wasn't.
Well, the thing is there was no booze on the rider.
Okay.
They didn't provide any of that. So I had the forethought to stop at a liquor store and go pick some stuff up.
Right.
And of course we had to carry it in the band case.
Okay.
And mix a little here, but it wasn't a whole lot, but right. After the show was over, and mind you, this is small town Indiana. This is Wabash, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And, they roll the sidewalks up at 9 o'clock.
Right.
So even though it was a small town, there apparently was one dive bar that stays open till like 3.
Oh, good. I can imagine the clientele that was in there.
Well, that's the thing. It's just like, well, Mick, we got to, there were other people there. It's like, they're like, Mick, we got to go out. We got to go to your, take you out for your birthday. We got to do this. We got to do that. And so we rolled back to the hotel in the van, and we were getting, I was helping these guys get their gear out of there. And Mick goes, Wendell, you want to go for a drink? I'm just like, well, absolutely, Mick.
Of course I do.
He goes, well, I'm gonna go dry off and we'll go.
Right.
Well, we went into the hotel, and there were a few fans hanging out in the great back up there. Jack and his crew were in the what do you want to call the little dining area that they have, like the continental breakfast in the morning.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, they had the full on pizza party thing going on there.
Okay.
So a bunch of people were hanging out there. So Jack played first, so they were back at the hotel already. But by the time we got back, there was probably 6 or 8 Doc and Uber fans there.
Okay.
And as soon as, Mick and Don walked in, they got bombarded with sign this. And of course, and I understand it, but I know how it can be a little overwhelming. But these guys had every single thing that Doc can ever put out.
Oh, God. Here, would you sign this patch from the 8 to
Well,
War?
it wasn't patches. It was CDs and albums.
Of course, yeah.
And Don was very patient, sat there. He signed every one of those things. And so did Mick. They sat there, and they literally sat there for 15 minutes signing shit.
Ugh, no thanks.
They did it, and he goes, is that all? Is there anything more? So by the time we got back up to the room and kind of got, things settled back in, Mick was already gone.
Right.
Gone.
Yeah, he's done.
So I did not get to go out for Mick's birthday.
Oh, that's no fun.
I know, but he was already out of there with whoever it is that took him there.
Right.
So they were gone already.
All right.
And they were leaving, they had a lobby call early in the morning and they had to fly out. They had to, drive to the airport.
Right.
And then they had, because everybody lives in different parts of the country. Chris lives up in the Northeast.
Right.
And Don and John live in LA and Mick lives in Phoenix.
Right.
So they all had different flights and things that they had to coordinate. It's a lot of work to travel for one show.
Yeah, no shit.
But it was cool to hang. And so last week, while we were talking, Don was just like, you guys are live next week, right? I said, yeah. He goes, I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about. You think I could come on?
She said, no, book an appointment.
I said, yeah, of course. You're welcome to come on. He goes, I got a lot going on. Got a lot of things I want to talk about.
All right.
I said, all right, well, we're ready to go. So he may call in tonight on docking time, as you know that goes.
I was going to say, you might want to tell him we're on now.
Yeah, well, I know. I already texted him and back and forth today already. And then yesterday, out of the blue, Eric Braverman called me. And he was like, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while. How's Chris? That's the first thing he asked. How's Chris?
Is everybody worried about me all the time?
Well, because I don't know. Because your presence on social media and your postings and this and that.
Because I disappeared?
Well, I think so. I think that's what it is. I think they're used to seeing you, frequently post shit out there, and you really don't do a lot of that.
You have to admit, I really have shut it down.
You have. You've cut back considerably. So, of course, it's just like, well, how's Chris? And I go, oh, he's good as far as I know. Why? Oh, well, I just haven't really seen a whole lot from him. I just wondering if he was doing okay.
Yeah, no, he died. That should be your answer every time. I don't know how to tell you this, man, but he passed away.
Yeah.
And just let it sit. Just let it sit and then have him on the show to give me a eulogy, and then I'll just pop in.
Right.
That should be what you do. So
he says there's a lot going on in the Braverman world.
Right.
And I guess he's been talking with our own Kendall Peters.
Oh, Braverman?
Braverman.
Okay.
Because he's looking for he's expanding his empire, I guess.
Oh, he's looking for talent.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
All right.
So he says he's got a lot going on. He's got some Slayer stuff he wants to talk about and Judas Priest stuff. And he's just got some inside Metallica stuff. And, I said, well, don't blow your wad on this phone call. I don't want to know what you're talking about until you get there.
Right. Well, that's cool.
So he said, yeah, it's been a while since we touched base, so I need to bring everybody up to date with what's going on with me.
Right. That's cool.
So it's just strange that just out of the blue, people want to talk.
Hey, bring them on. Makes our job easier.
It does. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, what's up?
Hail kill, fellas. Well, it's a first-time caller for me, so...
Well, who are you? Where are you from?
My name's Dan. I'm from Ohio.
Okay.
Ohio grown.
Okay.
And, I figured I wanted to call, but they say, people don't call because the first call is the rough one. So I just wanted to pop my cherry. I'm a little nervous, but it'll be okay. I wanted to talk about this docking that you were talking about.
Okay.
Hi, Chris.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
All right, let's get to the point, Dan. Let's go.
I don't know. I don't even remember the point. You know what? I just wanted to get the first phone call out of the way. Say, hey, Cal, hello, and...
Well, thanks a lot,
I don't know.
Was it good for you?
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, it really was. I've been listening for, like quite a while. And it's quite frequent that you guys will come across things that, like, I really want to, like, add my input and
so
stuff, and I can't. You're welcome. I think my manager is calling.
All right,
I
Dan.
think so, too.
All right, hail and kill. All right, there's Dan.
He got his first call out of the way.
He did. He got it out of the way. Now go clean off, Dan. Jeez.
Easy now. My goodness.
What is it with people in there? Well, I gotta talk to you guys.
I don't know. Whatever.
All right. Well, you got your first call out of the way, Dan.
Yeah.
It was a rough patch, but you'll survive.
There's still room for others with Dan. Didn't do that bad.
Right.
There's some that I wish you would never. I wish you would see Rufo's number. Well, thankfully, he must have died or something, and, his number hasn't been coming up. But
no, I bet you we have, and again, going back to about the time.
Yeah.
It's been over a year since we heard from Rufo.
Good.
But just to give you the time frame here.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that ground is settling nicely after they threw him in it. Did not like John Rufo.
I know you didn't, but again, a whole year has gone by already.
How long's it been since my other favorite, Mark Nero, gave us a ring?
That literally was 4 years.
Yeah, haven't missed that guy either.
Well, I know you haven't, but again, that's 4 years.
Mark Nero. I figured he would come back once the Metal Madman rolled up. And he's been gone, 2 or 3 years at this point?
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
So
he's gone.
Just flying by, man.
Sure is.
Well, excellent. Go ahead.
So anyway, how was the doc and show? Was it good?
Well, it was good. John is really funny. I mean, we were talking about you a little bit.
Of course.
And I said that, I heard you, chatted with Chris a little bit this week. And he goes, yeah, he says, this is going to take a little bit of litigation, and I'm going to make sure this gets handled and blah, blah, blah. He goes, you know about this, right? I go, yeah, I'm well aware.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to take care of this. These guys are dirtbags, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So I said, yeah, that's it. And he goes, man, he's just standing there holding his stomach. I go, what's the matter with you? He goes, I'm just not feeling well, man. I'm just not feeling well. And I go, what's the problem? He goes, he says, I think I ate some sushi on Thursday and I just haven't felt right since.
Right.
And I go, well, maybe you got a little food poisoning or something. Man, and he's just like, I just don't know. I just feel like I got to throw up.
Right.
And so during the show, while I was standing on the side stage, he'd come like, how's it sounding, man? How's it sound? I said, John, you're on fire as always. All right. I just hope I don't throw up. So after the show, he's just kind of, looking sickly. And I was talking to Don. I said, what is wrong with John? And he said, he's just a hypochondriac. He said, he's been up for 2 days. He says, when he doesn't get sleep, he always says he's sick. He said, don't worry about John. He'll be fine.
Right.
He's like that. And then they were telling me a little bit about the whole George Lynch thing in Minnesota the night before.
Right.
And they were telling me that, George halfway prepared for the show, but really didn't know the songs that well.
Oh, why would he?
So they kind of had to coach him a little bit on stage.
Right.
Like they were going to break into Don't Close Your Eyes.
Right.
And I guess he started playing like Into the Fire or something. I don't know. And it's like, George, no, it's Don't Close Your Eyes. He goes, how does that go?
Yeah, sing it to me a little bit.
Well, and that's what Mick said. He said, so I went, it goes, da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, like that. He goes, yeah. Now I remember. So they said that, the gig went good. Nothing spectacular though.
Yeah. Did they make a lot of money?
I don't know. I didn't discuss that with him. I just was just like,
Yeah. I heard no, so I don't know. I don't know that to be true or not. I heard third hand that it was not like some great check or anything.
Yeah. So I guess George played like a day later with the lynch mob at this 3-day event thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So George cashed in twice, I guess.
Yeah. So in other words, he just happened to be there, so he found an extra way to grab some extra coin.
I guess.
Oh, hey, good for him.
Hey, the guy's a working musician.
Yeah.
He's got to go out there and make a living somehow.
Sure.
But I guess we could ask Don a little bit about it later tonight and see if he's got any more input on that.
Sure.
But what I find funny after all these years is there's still an interest in seeing those guys on stage together.
The current Dokken or with George?
With George.
Yeah. Not in this house. There's no interest in that.
Yeah. It's just like, okay. But it's just amazing that after going on 40 years,
yeah.
I hate to say that, but going on 40 years, that there's still this online sniping back and forth about that whole thing.
Well, people can have it. I'll see it. If I see it again at all, it'll be with John and the band. Unless Don does a tour and happens to play the Roxino.
Right.
And even then, I'm 50-50. I'm going.
Well, I got to tell you, though, watching John,
yeah,
he just tears it up.
Well, and that's, John. I like watching John. I've seen George. He's all right. I mean, he's not terrible. He's a good player. But I'm much more into John, and plus I'm friendly with John. I would say of the guys that are currently in the band, I'm friendliest with John.
Right. So
for me, I'll go if John's there to hang out with John.
Sure.
Not really because I want to see the show or because I want to hang out with Don or whoever. I just want to hang out with John.
Yeah.
But hey, whatever. You obviously like going and have a good time every time you go.
I do have a good time every time I go. I mean, it's like a band of brothers,
Sure.
And everybody's just always having a good time and swapping stories and just it's really a cut up fest all the time.
Sure.
So I think that's what it is. It's just fun, because those guys are just 4 different personalities, but they all gel and they're just funny.
Yeah. And I mean, I can't imagine that you're still going because you can't wait to see the show again.
No, I'm just kind of there as kind of support a little bit, just as a friend and be a little bit supportive and help these guys out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But after the show was over, Don was out back. He was smoking a cigarette because can't take his vape pipe with him because he can't fly with it.
You can't fly with a vape pipe?
Nope.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that either, but apparently they have that regulation. So, because he doesn't have his vape, he'll take a drag off a cigarette.
All right.
So this party bus pulls up. It's one of those like 20-seaters.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy starts yelling out the window, "Don, all these people came up from Indianapolis to see the show. Can you get a picture?"
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And Don was just like, okay. He says, "Party bus." He goes, "All right." So everybody files out of the bus.
Mm-hmm.
There's like probably about 18 people.
Poses in front of the bus with Don in the middle.
Well, they did.
Ugh.
They did that. And so, I kind of took charge a little bit. I said, okay, instead of just everybody hoarding in at one time, I said, just kind of everybody line up here. And we'll get you through real quick.
Right.
Everybody got a picture. Everybody got an autograph, and everything. And everybody went home happy. And he was just as nice as could be to do that for them.
What a dick that guy is.
Yeah, I know. So, out on the street in Wabash, Indiana.
That Don Dokken, what an asshole.
Yeah. Big jerk.
He really does get that a lot.
I know.
And I get it. If you're mean to one person, that resonates for 10 fucking years. And, at one point, Don was not as nice as he is now. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, again, I didn't know him back in the day, but during the time that I've known him for the last 24 years, never seen him turn away a fan.
Sure. Well, I've told the story many times. He was the first ever person to hang up on me on an interview because he didn't like what I said, and he told me to fuck off and hung up on me. So I've seen it. I've definitely seen it. But whatever. I mean, if you're cordial with him, he's always. But I did business with him for how many years? 10?
10 years.
10 years, and I never had a problem with him. You know, he's great. He's always great and cordial and polite and nice and, you know, please, thank you guy. You know, he really is. So, people that talk shit about him now, they're just people that don't know him.
That's true.
And that's really what it comes down to, is it's just people that don't know him.
I'll agree with that. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, hail, kill, Neeley. Hail, kill, Chris. It's me again, my second call, so, like, I'm calm and lucid and got the cherry pop. So,
all right, Dan, get with it. Step it up.
All right. Well, I just want to ask you a question, and I apologize because it could be random in the order I'm forced to listen to them through the week. All right, so I hear an interview with this Mark Toreen, right? And, like, I hate this fucking guy. I don't know why. I've never liked the dude, because I remember, like, the, smooth up in your videos and shit, and just fucking hated the dude. Well, he mentioned in the interview that he was going to get the Randy Rhoads gig after Ozzy Osbourne. And I don't want to call people liars and shit, but, like, is this guy really the caliber player of a Randy Rhoads? And if you are, why the fuck would you choose to front the Bullet Boys instead?
You want this one, Neeley? You want me to?
Well, the only thing I'm going to tell you is that there were numerous people lined up for that gig. George Lynch was trying out for it and Brad Gillis was trying out for it, and
Chris Holmes.
Yeah, a lot of people were trying out for the gig. So just the fact that he tried out for the gig doesn't mean he was going to get the gig.
I do remember him talking it up a bit, like he had it and something happened, and I don't know if he remembered talking like it was after the Randy Rhoads. And, I guess it makes sense that a lot of guys would put that on their, like, resume that they did try out. But, like, he came off as, like, comparing himself as a caliber of that kind of player. And, like, there are very few of those. And just always just not liking the guy for no reason. I feel bad. I'm not saying it's right. But, like, does he really have chops like that?
Well,
Has anyone ever
I can tell you from a personal standpoint that I have seen Mark play, and I was actually surprised at how well he plays. Is he a top caliber player in my book? No. He's a good guitarist, but he's not like some standout guy.
Fair enough. Yeah, nope, like I didn't want to, I'm not trying to bash him, because it's not my way. It didn't jive, like, when he had said
all right,
that.
Dan, you don't need to repeat it.
We get it, Dan.
Yeah, my manager is calling me, so I've got to go.
Hand your manager your cell phone.
What's that?
Have another drink and hand your manager your cell phone.
Oh, it's not a drink, anyway, whatever. But I don't know, if you have caller ID, I'm sure you saw the horns in my number. I'll call.
All right, Dan.
I've got a lot of opinions on Dawkins.
I'm sure you do.
Done.
All right.
And,
hail and kill, Dan.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Dan, all right.
All right, Dan. You got your 5 minutes of fame in.
All right, Dan. You're not allowed to call until after Tim James's fifth call of the night.
Right, exactly. So that's all that happened in my world this week. Nothing overly exciting. It was just a lot of fun and just hanging out. And I hung out a little bit with Jack Russell.
That's cool.
I don't know how that guy does what he does. I mean, when it's time for him to perform, he goes out there, and even in his, no disrespect to Jack, but even in his deteriorated his deteriorated state, he seems to come alive when it's time to perform.
Sure.
But then after the show, or when you kind of see him hanging out at the hotel or whatever, this guy is just a crippled, broken down man.
So when I go to see that show in a couple of weeks, am I going to see them wheeling him to the stage?
No, he gets around fine. It's just
I've seen the stage show. I'm talking about backstage.
Well, no, I mean, he gets around fine backstage and everything. It's just that he's just a shell of what he used to be.
Sure.
Just a shell. I mean, he sounds great and he performs well.
He's a shell in everything but the voice.
Yeah. And, I was standing backstage there, and he comes up, and he says to me, hey, I'm supposed to go out and sing Alone Again with Don. He says, can you find me a microphone?
And a wheelchair?
So I went over to the sound guy, and he hooked me up with a wireless, and, I got it for Jack, and he went out there and sang Alone Again.
Do you know who you were?
Oh, yeah, he knows me.
I was going to say, he's seen you a million times.
Oh, yeah, he knows me. But it's just, it's just sad.
Yeah.
And the thing is that that XM Sirius tour that you're going to go see kicked off on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And already Phil Verone, speaking of the Bullet Boys, he's already left.
2 shows and out.
2 shows and out. So apparently he and Mark Toreen did not get along.
Or he didn't like the groupie content that was coming to those shows.
Well, apparently not.
Yeah. Ugh.
So 2 shows and out. And
Yep.
I guess they're playing at the House of Blues tonight in Anaheim or something.
Yeah. And I saw somewhere that, I forget what venue it was, but they were giving away free tickets to get people.
Well, it's not a strong package.
It's not.
It's not a strong package. And, again, I love Jack, love Chip.
Yeah.
Love all those guys, but boy, that combination, not such a strong package, not a big draw there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, here, what does House of Blues here hold? Like 1,800 people?
I don't know how big that one is, but it usually is in the range of like 1,000 to 1,500, most of them, I guess.
And wouldn't you think this is going to be like 300 people?
Well, I did see somebody live stream some of the show from the Wiltern Theater last night, and they did like a pan of the audience.
Okay.
And the tens of people that were there was overwhelming.
Oh, no. Well, look, I am hopeful that they draw enough people to make it worthwhile. Just because for no other reason than I like Chip.
Yeah, of course. Well, again, here's another situation where you're going out to the show, not because, oh man, I can't wait to see them play. It's just, I want to go hang with Chip.
That's 100% why I'm going.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know if I've said it on the show. I know I've said it to you. Every other time that I've ever seen Enough's Enough, I either had jobs or a wife that I couldn't get high. But now I can smoke pot. So it's like, dude, as dumb as that sounds, getting high with Chips Enough is something I want to do. I want to get high on the new thing.
Right.
And so I'm going to. It's that simple. That's why I'm going, is to smoke pot with Chip.
All right.
I don't even care if I see any songs. I really don't. I just want to go and have some fun.
Right. Well, I don't blame you for that.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Chip is always a good hang. I mean, I run into Chip probably 3 times a year.
Sure.
And every time I hang out with him, we always have a good chat or just hang out or, but I don't go because I want to go see the show.
Right. Yeah, we've seen the show a million times.
Yeah, and surprisingly, Chip does a really good job as a frontman singing,
He sounds pretty good.
He does.
You would have thought, because Donnie has such a unique voice, you would have thought that it would not be that good, but he does just about as good as Donnie ever did.
Well, what I compare that to is Jerry Cantrell backing up Lane Staley.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, it is. It's very, very similar. Well, one of our fans, Robert John Spradley, sent us a picture, which I will put in the chat room here in 1 second. Let me save it in UFF. With a caption that says, Mr. Zenough sends his warmest regards to both of you.
All right.
So Chip is, I guess he went and saw them last night and took a picture with them, and he mentioned us.
Hey, those 2 are good. They're my brothers.
I love those guys. They're great.
They're my brothers.
They are.
All right, brothers and sisters.
Can't wait to see them in a couple of weeks.
Well, they're playing here in October, I guess, end of October. It's like October 25th or something. And they're playing at the House of Blues, and there ain't no fucking way I'm going down there. That's, I do travel for shows, but I'm not making the trip down to the House of Blues.
But, Neeley, you got to come out and get high with the new thing.
Nah, not doing it. I mean, if they were playing, outside the city or something, I might consider it, but I'm not doing it.
They came to Valpo or something, you'd be right there.
Yeah, I would do that. Sure, why not?
But not.
But I'm not going all the way downtown to the House of Blues and pay $30 for parking and deal with the riffraff and forget it.
I know that's right.
Forget it.
Believe me, I'm dreading that tomorrow. Going down there and dealing with all the fucking schlubs.
Yeah.
Downtown Cleveland at night. Ugh.
How is the crime problem downtown in Cleveland these days?
Well, I saw about a month ago that Cleveland was named 6th most dangerous city in America.
Is that a fact?
Yes.
All right.
So the crime is well under control.
All right.
Yeah, it is what it is. We'll be parking very close to the venue no matter what it costs. Won't be doing any walking to save $1. That's for goddamn sure.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of my attitude about a lot of things. It's just like, you know what? It may cost me a couple bucks more, but I'll park in the VIP section if I got to go to a place that has that kind of accommodation.
Yeah, well, I'm sure not willing to die for enough's enough. That's for sure. For Glenn Hughes, I'm just not.
Yeah. Well, good on you. I always enjoy hanging out with Chip.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. And, all of it's fun, dude. Dude, I'll tell you who you have to go see if they come near you is that Magpie Salute that I went and saw.
Yeah, you did. You did go to a show this week, or last week, rather.
Last week, I went and saw the Magpie Salute, which, if people don't know, it's basically all of the Black Crowes except for Chris Robinson, the singer. It was fucking phenomenal.
Good.
Honestly, I'm not even still buzzing off it anymore, so I could say this honestly. Top 3 shows I've ever seen in my life. It was one of those, it was 2 hours, it went by in 5 fucking seconds, and I didn't know any of the songs, and I was still completely blown away by it. It was fucking amazing.
And plus, it was in a smaller venue, so it was,
yeah,
it was a nice venue. It was a intimate setting for you, rather.
It was, dude. It was fun. I was good and buzzed up when we went in, which probably helped things. I was buzzed up but not drunk. Dude, we were right across the street from that venue is B-Dubs.
Okay.
And I was drinking margaritas, and don't ask me why. I just kind of had a taste for margaritas. So
I had a couple of Bloody Marys today.
There you go. I had like 6 margaritas in an hour.
All right.
I was just knocking them back. And by the time we walked over to the show, I had a good little buzz going. Got a drink inside, got a shot inside. We did a shot of Jack and a beer chaser. Went in, sat down. We timed this almost perfectly. I don't think we sat there 2 minutes and the lights went off.
Nice.
It was fucking perfect. And the singer that they have for this Magpie Salute is a guy, you might even remember this name, because they promoted this band really hard for about 6 months in the late 90s. You remember this band called Moke? M-O-K-E, Moke?
Doesn't ring a bell.
There was like a couple of those bands that were like black singer, white band, and they sang kind of, it was almost like a Hootie and the Blowfish type of a deal.
Okay.
Moke was similar to that, and there was a few more that were like that. Well, there was this band Moke, and the only reason I remember Moke, and this is a sad state of what my life was I had this video back in the old days, the Pamela Anderson fucking Bret Michaels video.
Okay.
That I had burned onto a disc because people kept asking me for it, but I didn't want the wife to know I had it, so I wrote Moke on the I wrote the name of a band that was on my desk at the time, which was Moke, and I still have it. I still have the disc up there in my disc books. But that's the only reason I even remembered this band's name. I looked up the singer, and it was the singer from Moke. I was like, holy fuck, can this guy bring it? And wow, what a fucking show. And they only played 2 Crows songs, I think. 2, maybe 3. But it was all just songs I didn't even know, and it was amazing, man.
Cool.
I mean, really fucking good show. That's one. I know you as a Crows fan as well. You would love it. Just fucking love it.
Excellent. Well, I saw a interview with Chris Robinson not long ago.
Yeah.
And boy, those 2 guys are just bitter toward each other.
Yeah, they don't like each other. They're not even brothers anymore.
I know. It's like, wow, some of the stuff that Chris was saying about Rich was just like, Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't like each other at all. And you know what? The sad truth of it is that without each other, they're useless. Chris Robinson Brotherhood, that's a good band. It's not great though. It's just a pretty good band. But no one cares. I mean, they have a little bit of a following, but not a huge one. And the same with this band. You know, this band, the Magpie Salute, doesn't have any following really. You know, there was, I don't know, 120 people at this gig maybe, which to me made it better. But, you know, I'm sure that doesn't help them when they're touring with a big fucking tour bus.
Yeah, and all those people.
You know, there's 8 guys in the band or whatever, but it's literally the whole band. It's Sven Pipin or Pippian or whatever his name is. And the drummer was the same guy with the big hair, and Mark Ford is playing guitar, and Rich Robinson is playing guitar. And, you know, they had a keyboard, whoever the keyboard player was back in the Crows day. It's all of the Black Crows guys and this guy from Moke. Fucking great show though. I would recommend if you ever like the Black Crows to anybody, if you ever like the Black Crows, go see it. It's a cheap ticket too. I think it was like $20 or something.
Yeah, for an intimate show up close.
Yeah, didn't cost shit, and it was well worth it.
Excellent. All right, well, let's take a break here. I'm going to get Mr. Braverman on the show.
All right, let me get 2 beers then instead of 1.
Well, we'll find out what is going on with him. I basically told him, I said, Eric, we love having you on the show. Just don't get too fucked up. Because I haven't even had anything to drink yet. I said, all right. I said, we'll be calling.
All right, that'll work.
All right, so I'm going to play a Judas Priest song here. I'm going to play something from their latest release called Firepower.
All right.
And I'm going to play Evil Never Dies.
Sounds good to me.
Here it is. It's Judas Priest exclusively here
on your classic metal show.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the metal god from Judas Priest, on the one, the only, the classic metal show.